Salwana Nicona, welcome to the sixth episode of What's Your Flip. I'm Chris Mercado, your host. For this particular episode, I brought in a huge part of my life. A lot of the things of who I am right now was really because of this organization that I joined more than 20 years ago back at the Ateneo. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome you in my talk with Ateneo Blue Repertory. Joining me are their moderator, Missy Maramara, a very, very old friend of mine. We go all the way back from, I think, season 7 of Blue Repertory when we staged 12th night. And then now she's the moderator of Blue Repertory. Also joining us are the company manager, Tisha Almazan, also their artistic director, Kat, and also Pia and EC. Hi, Blue Rep. I'm so happy that you guys indulged me with this interview. I'm sure you guys are busy or doing other stuff right now. I just want to check, like, how are you guys doing individually at this point?
Thanks for having us, Chris. You are one of our most precious and most prized alumni. And we're, we're very happy to be here with you. Definitely. Yes, Blue Rep is very busy right now. We just did a couple of projects over this past ECQ season, and we're planning a few projects coming up. So it's really exciting.
Cool. So, okay, the show is all about knowing what you guys are doing at the present to sustain the company and talking a bit about the future that you're building for yourselves. And then finally, what are some of the things you need to forget, unlearn, or upgrade from that will prevent you from doing innovation for the future? So let's start with that. Let's start with what is Blue Rep doing right now? I know that you guys just finished Blue Blast. Congratulations with that. I watched finally what's this?
RLF.
Real Tale.
Yeah.
Real
life fairy tales.
There you go. So I wasn't able to catch that, unfortunately, live, but I was happy I was able to do so. So congratulations to that. Congratulations, Missy. For those who don't know, this is the show. It's an original production by Blue Repertory that they even took all the way to South Korea as part of a showcase. So maybe we can talk about that. Apart from Blue Blast, which you guys just finished, what are the current things that you're doing at this point?
Well, in terms of sustaining our members, we want to engage our members without burning them out. So we're really trying to give them as many opportunities through workshops and gigs and productions. Some examples of gigs we've been doing over the past ECQ are the Bayanihan Musikahan gig, which was a fundraiser. In terms of workshops, we had Blue Blast, which was a month-long event wherein we had workshops and ended with the RLF streaming. And we're also planning to have productions this year that will try to stage online, specifically our newbie and finale production.
Nice.
Yes.
Okay, that's cool.
P, would you like to add?
Sure, go ahead.
Well, I think that's all for member sustenance. I think Pia can add on some financial sustenance, I guess, like that aspect of sustaining the company.
Yes, hello. Financially, for Blue Rep to sustain itself, we tried out waters with our fundraisers. And right now, as we're moving on with the school year, we're trying to figure out how to do our monetized gigs so that we can sustain ourselves and have Blue Rep in the future.
Nice.
Yeah, we took a great hit when COVID happened. We had a full sold out show. All our shows were sold out for 3 weeks, and then a few shows into the first weekend, we got wrapped up. So we were hoping that we could come back with it still, because a lot of people were looking forward to seeing it. It was next to normal. A lot of people were looking forward to that. But since everything was canceled and we've had to kind of just hang on, and well, that's why we're trying to make all these things happen and raise funds for ourselves, meaning Blue Rep, as well as other people like Open House, other companies that can benefit from our efforts.
Yes.
I'm sure that's very close to your heart, Miss, because apart from being a moderator of Blue Repertory, you're also very involved as a professional actor. Um, I mean, you're basically a thespian, right? And then you're also working on your PhD. So I think it's a big deal for you to get these kids still active. And well, that was really the goal when we formed Blue Rep many years ago. Like we wanted that something that will really last for a very long time. And this is like the latest and the longest running iteration of Blue Rep. And we'd love to see it, go on for another like 20 years or even more than that. So yeah, so going into that, and I'm pretty excited to ask you guys about this because one thing that a lot of people are probably asking right now is, given the pandemic, given that everything's online, how will Blue Reps start staging their productions moving forward? Because we don't know when this is going to end.
We did a little thing early this summer called Bayanihan Musikahan, and it was for the fund. It was a fundraising initially. It was a fundraising for Bayanihan Musikahan, the musicians,
Yes.
and then we did real life fairy tales for Open House. So now Kat will tell you about moving forward plans. It's very exciting.
Yes. In terms of innovation, we've been looking at like different kinds of theater and researching on how to stage things online. Based on our research, not a lot of people have staged things online yet, and it's even trickier because musicals you have to pre-record the songs, you have to balance the sounds and everything, and edit the videos. So that's what we did for Bayanihan Musikahan, and that's what we're hoping to do for our future productions and gigs as well. And we're also opening an original work initiative under the AD department, wherein members can learn how to playwright, compose, arrange, and write lyrics so that we may produce material during this time that can hopefully be staged by future Blue Rep generations as well. Yes.
Yeah, that's
P, would you like to add?
that's one of the things that I really wanted to develop for Blue Rep, just because I know we've had a lot of successful productions in the past, but these were all like not our original material. And I think it's high time, especially with real life fairy tales, now we should start producing our own material. I think the pandemic is sort of like the perfect time to gestate these ideas. Might not happen this year, but maybe sometime later on in the future. So go ahead. Sorry, I cut you there.
No, it's okay.
No, it's okay.
Just going off of Kat's tangent on innovation, with the production and theater management side of things, naman, we're also in the process of transitioning those departments from on-site to online. So it's a lot of parang redefining their responsibilities, but more than that, we're also learning to integrate new people and new departments into the online theater setting. So for example, we now have a community manager who manages comments for webinars and talkbacks, which we didn't have before. So we're also learning that departments are dependent on one another. So innovation in that sense sort of manifests in highlighting the collaboration between the departments as opposed to compartmentalizing their responsibilities.
And of course, we also had to look creatively. We had to look into how to adjust from a live platform to an online platform. So, blocking will change, sound, how sound works changes, because of course there's bandwidth, there's multiple variety, there's a huge spectrum of streaming platforms, and people have different capacities for recording and for connecting to each other. So how do you adjust to asynchronous performances or performances that they're not happening in real time? those are some of the considerations we had to think about.
Nice. Okay. Is there like any sneak peek of what the productions we can expect from Blue Rep this year?
Um, that's
Go
a
ahead, Kat.
secret for now, but we're releasing our season theme and lineup very, very soon.
Okay.
Yes, but we wanted to get in terms of productions this year, we wanted to get material that's flexible
Mhm.
in a sense that we we can experiment and adapt it online. So that's just a little description of what we have planned for the year.
Nice, nice. No, no, no. I perfectly understand that, but hopefully we'll get news of what the lineup will be for this year, and I'm definitely looking forward to that. Okay,
We
so
had we had just secured the rights for the newbie production
like
because our freshmen, they're coming in, they missed out on their prom, they missed out on their grad ball, they missed out on their graduation, and then they missed out on their orientation seminar, and you know, we're hoping that uh, this whole online platform thing is already something that they're very much accustomed to, not very much but slightly more accustomed to, and that, you know, we're trying to find exciting ways to get them engaged with it. And diba, like in school it gets tiring when you're attending classes all the time and you join a theater org, so that, you know, you can have a different kind of fun in school, right? A different kind of interaction. So since we're all stuck at home, hopefully this kind of interaction will allow the freshmen naman to get to interact with everybody, with each other, and have creative output still, even though we're all in some kind of nether world called the internet.
that's
So
right.
the and then our artistic team is also very exciting. They're great humans, and they're also blue rappers. Tee, just a sneak peek. And at least for the newbie prod, so they're in very good hands. But we're also bringing in outsiders who have very good expertise on the realm of film and online platforms, so that the freshmen aren't just what's happening, you know, they're guided by professionals as well. So we're very excited. We hope that they sign up for Blue Rep and they have the time of their lives given the situation of this pandemic.
Yeah, we just have to make the most out of the current situation.
Absolutely.
So bridging what's happening for Blue Rep now and what you guys are building for the future, we go on to the last question, which is basically for you to bridge those two, especially in terms of how you come up with innovations. Are there certain things that Blue Rep is trying to unlearn or forget or maybe even upgrade for you to do that innovation? Just because we all know that COVID has changed almost every facet of our lives right now. The way, I mean, just for theater, I mean, the way we watch theater will probably never be the same after a long time. So, what are probably those things in your opinion?
I'll speak first. Personally, specifically for my department, I feel like something that we should kind of unlearn is looking forward to the season being similar towards previous seasons, like in terms of like the internal processes done. For example, in my department, we're in charge of compiling production books for like the broads that we have. But seeing that certain departments won't be able to participate on an online platform, like T said, we have to redefine the responsibilities. So in terms for the broad book, I have to kind of revise the deliverables each department must submit. So I think overall, I feel like Blue Rep has to continuously just be open-minded into like adapting to the current situation and really like consider what their members' thoughts are regarding things, and hopefully like use the suggestions that our members have into like what we hope Blue Rep would plan to do in the future as of like the current situation. Does anyone want to add?
Bouncing off from It's
That's
okay. Bouncing off from what EC said, we can't really be tied down to how we've been doing things for the past few years. So we
Yes.
have to revisit like how we calendar events. We even let go of our usual three prod season where we have premiere, newbie, and finale, and instead we're sticking to newbie and finale so people can really get accustomed to the online setting. Um, Another example is like in terms of AD, like how the artistic team is structured. We're redefining responsibilities. We're forgetting again the usual way we do things. Like for example, lighting designer. How do they
Inventing.
fit in?
They're
What?
reinvent. They're
Yes, we're
reinventing.
reinventing.
Yeah.
For example, lighting designer. What's their role in staging online gigs and performances? How do we um compartmentalize the role of the director versus the role of movement designer in how things are placed or how things are framed in the videos, stuff like that. We're also evolving in terms of how we engage our members. We want to make sure that they're part of the discussion and part of every decision that we make. Yes, so that's it.
Siguro
Anyone?
kasi online, things happen faster
Mhm,
but at the same time slower. So it's a really different concept of time, and
mhm,
tasks can be a lot more daunting, right?
yeah.
Like when you see each other face to face, things happen magically for some reason, that energy exchange and that physical presence and the ideas coming together in that moment. It's easy, it's something we're all familiar with, and then suddenly now we have different tasks and we're supposed to achieve it by ourselves on our own time frames. So that's, I think, what Kat means by compartmentalizing, and then how do we bring it together will be the next step. So the next few projects will be very, very exciting. Sorry, Sophia, you wanted to say something.
Well,
I also think that in the theater management side, it's kind of, at least for us, since a lot of theater management with DAP and a lot of the work is outside, it's more by yourself. Like with DAP, you edit, with Corel, you email, but it's
What is DAP
important.
and Corel?
DAP is designs and publication, and Corel is corporate relations. So you email and find sponsors from outside. Um, so I think the difficult thing with doing this is how, because the departments, as we go online, we've realized that it's more interconnected than we thought. So a lot of the documentations as well, sometimes it really overlaps with that, with like, especially with gigs and stuff. As for finance, I also think that what we need to unlearn for our department is our ways of revenue, since we can't rely on a lot of on-site stuff. So we can't rely on merch a lot. We can't rely
Merchandise.
on merchandise. We can't rely on public promotions. So it's really time for us to like unlearn that. It's a good rough outline for us to follow, but we need to think of how we can incorporate what we know to what we are doing.
okay. So maybe I think one question I also want to ask is, because one aspect of performance, maybe Kat and Miss Lee can answer this question, is how performers interact with a live audience. So like coming into a situation wherein everything's online and it's probably more, well, it's very difficult for you to gauge the reaction of your live audience when you make these performances. How do you make adjustments on that end?
Kat?
That's an interesting question. Um, well, we can't really mimic live audiences anymore because we can't do live performances because yun nga music and it's hard to perform with all the lag and internet is unstable and all that. siguro what we're focusing on is how the performers can react to each other and how they can bounce off one another so that they can um provide a realistic and not robotic performance online.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Missy, would you like to add anything?
Yeah, Missy
Actually,
Pro
actually,
Ice, yeah.
this whole thing about online and technological advancements, incorporating them into the theater, the use of the camera, it's not new. It's actually been happening already, right? And it's just a matter of really being more mindful of the incorporation, right? Especially since the live component was removed, let's say temporarily for the time being. We're all going to come back for sure. But while that all is happening, so the focus really now moves towards the technology and how to really work that. Theater at the heart of it is the interaction of humans, about humans, for humans, right? Like paintings can be about the weather, it can be about nature, okay? And music, right? It can be about so many other things. But theater is the only art form that is specifically about humans and human interaction. So technology allows us that human interaction. It doesn't diminish it in the way we think it does. It just changes. And that shift is something that we have to explore, right? And the need for tactile, visceral performances, which is why theater is so fun to be in as compared to, well, it's what makes theater different from film and television. That palpable energy.
Yeah.
So that's now, how do we do that? How do we maintain that? And actually, this whole audience responding live, in real time to what they're watching, that can't happen in theater. You can't say what you're thinking while you're watching a play. And now online, you can do that. And it's actually funny. And it's while the audience, the performers don't hear the audience as literally laughing, they can see their actual thoughts when they go and watch the restage the rewind
Recorded.
the recorded
Yeah.
like the oh my gosh, words are failing me, the review. The later streaming, diba? Parang nakakatuwa to see how audiences actually think. So all of these things, they're opportunities, right? To explore, to cull data about how audiences respond to material. And while nothing can replace live interaction, there's also some beauty in having the audience speak their mind in the moment that they do, without it affecting the performance directly. Syempre nakakamiss for actors and for directors and for artists in general to have that moment-to-moment exchange, right?
True.
But there's also an interesting vibe to creating something into this void called the internet.
Cool. Okay, so anyway, before we end, I'd like for you guys to take this opportunity to promote the company, anything that's upcoming, maybe in terms of like recruitment and other projects that we may have.
Okay. Well, for Ateneans, I guess Rec Week is happening soon. So that's recruitment week where you can join orgs. I don't think we're allowed to say the final dates yet, but it's sometime in September. And we hope you can join Blue Rep and you also join the other theater orgs on campus. And then for everyone else naman, Blue Repper or not, we hope that you can catch our season. As Kat said earlier, we're going to have our newbie production and our finale production. It's going to be very experimental and new, but still very Blue Rep. So we hope that you can catch it and you can experience it with us.
Yes.
Any parting words, Missy?
This is going to be a great year as long as we work together and really fight for each other. And this dog is upstaging me, and we're as long as we continue to have hope, and as long as we continue to really create, and the whole idea of connecting and finding purpose and meaning in this very, very strange world right now. That's what we're here for, and that's why Blue Rep will be here for you and be here for the audiences and be here for each other. So come join us. It'll be great.
All right. Thank you so much, Missy, EC, Tisha, Pia, and also Kat for joining me in this short conversation. I'm definitely looking forward to what you guys have up your sleeves. Every year, I just look forward to how Blue Rep is growing. And I hope you guys will take care, keep safe, and I'll be watching. Thank you so much.
Yay.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you,
Thank
Chris.
you.
Thank you.
So that's another episode of What's Your Flip. Thank you for joining us again this week. Do catch us again next week, every Wednesday, 12 noon, for another great conversation about innovation, of how guys are doing during the pandemic, what they're doing to build their future now, and also what they're learning to forget, unlearn, or even upgrade for them to be able to do their innovation. So until then, keep safe, keep healthy, wear a mask, practice physical distancing, and keep flipping. Bye.